My name is Zach Eichholz. I'm going into my second year as a master's student at the Florida Institute of Technology, and I'm majoring in interdisciplinary sciences. I have a Bachelor's of Science in Sustainability Studies, and one day I hope to save the world through writing. The End of the Beginning is a climate fiction novel meant to teach and inform those who read it about the science of human-induced climate change and its associated effects on not only our planet's natural systems but ourselves. But the book teaches and informs not through the style of a textbook or a journal per se, but instead through what I hope is a captivating story, a story everyone can relate to. It is the first book I plan to release as a part of a series of 4 novels that will all come together into one large story arc. The world we find in the book is not a dystopic one. It's one that still has a chance to be saved, where people are actively searching for solutions. It's set 10 years in the future, in 2027, and it really is just our world 10 years in the future, which I think is unique to many climate fiction novels, which usually tend to portray a darker vision of the future where all the chances have been spent. In the story, we follow retired Air Force Captain William Emerson. He is a man, like the world he lives in, that is riddled with pain and grief. We find him at one of the lowest points in his life. He joins a fictional UN organization called UNRO, which stands for the United Nations International Rescue Organization. UNRO is the world's last unified answer in the book to fighting climate change and the other societal impacts it creates. It aids in things like disaster relief, humanitarian work, geoengineering projects, carbon capture and storage, waste removal, ocean cleanup, and most importantly, fostering international cooperation to tackle all this. The character of William, which I named after my grandfather, within UNRO must learn to be among people again and learn to be a leader and find a purpose for himself after the tragic events of his past. He, like the world, must accept his past and the pain within it and move forward to fix it in order to have a better future. I started writing the book 3 years ago just as a hobby, late nights after studying and doing stuff like that. And it turned into something more than a hobby. It turned into a passion. And it turned into something that I thought could be used to educate the masses on climate change and things we had to do to fix it, while also grabbing them in a story that could keep them motivated and show them ways they could help. The book uses real climate change data and science from organizations like NASA and NOAA to help educate the reader. I feel like now more than ever, science needs to be understood, it needs to be accepted in order for us to move forward, and the book will help readers do that by giving them a chance to really see how things affect us and how climate change will affect not only themselves but people all across the world. Even though it's based on a work of fiction, the book weighs heavily and dabbles into real situations and reality that will affect us into the future. The title of the book, The End of the Beginning, is actually a Winston Churchill quote that he said on November 10th, 1942 during World War II. While he was addressing the House of Commons in London concerning a decisive Allied victory in the Second Battle of El Harmein in Egypt, Churchill said these exact words. Now, this is not the end, it is not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning. In reference to my book, this title represents humanity completing only the first steps necessary to take concerted action against climate change and other associated environmental effects. And it also signifies the journey that the main character, William Emerson, has to go on by accepting his role as a leader within UNRO and taking the first steps to once again rejoin society after the tragic events of his past. So the book will be available July 20th of this year through the self-publishing service Lulu, through ebook and paperback. If you want to follow the book and my story, go to the book's Facebook page at The End of the Beginning. It's been a really long journey. It's been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. And after this, I do expect to release more, no matter what happens. And I guess it really is the end of the beginning for me with this.